Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we will talk about something so simple that most people never even think about it. Your senses. Your eyes, your ears, your skin, your tongue, your nose, the five classic doors through which you meet reality. But here is the first shock. The doors are not windows, they are filters. They let is only a very thin slice of what actually exists. Let's start with vision. You think you see the world in full, but your eyes register only a teeny band of electromagnetic waves, from red to violet. That is less than 1% of spectrum. Bees see ultraviolet, snakes see infrared, birds detect magnetic fields. All of that is invisible to you. You call your picture reality, but it is only a narrow translation. The same with hearing. Bats navigate with ultrasonic cries. Elephant feels infrasonic waves through the ground. Dogs hear frequencies far beyond us. And again, your reality is only a filtered fragment. Touch, taste, smell, all are limits. Your tongue distinguishes a few categories: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami, but the chemical words in infinite. Your nose can catch maybe 10,000 odors, but molecules around you number in billions. So, what you call the world is not the world. It is a user interface built by your nervous system, a simplification, a survival tool. This matters because every time you judge another person, what they see, what they feel, what they know, you forget that even your own senses show you less than a shadow of reality. Pause here and realize what you see right now is not true. It is one translation out of many possible. In the theory of emotional field, we say perception is registration of excitation. The body is the instrument, the senses are channels, but each channel is narrow, noisy, selective. Already at this first level, uniqueness begins. No two eyes, not two ears, not two skins are identical. Even twins see the same event slightly differently, which means there is no signal reality accessible to all. There are only overlapping fragments. And when these fragments combine inside one human emotional body, they form a configuration that no one else can repeat. That is why tolerance is not politeness, it's physics. If you and I literally do not perceive the same word, then respect is the only bridge that makes sense. I will go deeper into how the brain itself limits what comes through the senses, the bottleneck of attention and memory. But for now, let this sink in. Your reality is a translation, a fragile, partial, beautiful translation, and no one else can see it exactly as you do. So the brain cuts almost everything away. Here the raw fact: every second your senses send millions of signals to your nervous system. Light, sound, touch, smell, but your conscious awareness can handle only about 40 pieces per second. From millions down to 40. That is reduction of thousands of times. Think of it like this: you stand in the library with 10 million books, but the librarian allows you to borrow only 40. Which 40? The ones your past experience and emotional body mark as important. Everything else is discarded. That means your reality is not only filtered by biology, it is also selected by memory, habit, fear, desire. Two people can stand in the same street, see the same sunset, but one will notice the orange in the sky and another will notice the trash on the ground. Not because the sky or the ground are more real, but because their brains choose different 40 signals. And here comes the real paradox. You cannot step outside of your filter. You cannot suddenly process all the millions. If you did, you would go insane. That is why our perception is both a gift and a prison. In emotional field theory, we say the emotional body is the resonate model that interacts with the field, but its resonance depends on how attention configures. Attention is like the narrow spotlight of probability selection, and that spotlight is personal. Why does this matter? Because it shows why humans disagree, why they fight, why they misunderstand. Not because one is lying and the other is blind, but because their brain literally choose different worlds from the same field of possibilities. This also means no one has the full truth. Not you, not me, not the smartest scientist. Each of us hold a reduced shaped, emotionally weighted version of reality. So when someone tells you, I don't feel what you feel, they are not being cold. They are being honest. They cannot. The emotional body is configured differently. The conclusion is radical but simple. We must train tolerance the same way we train language or math, because without it we live in separate realities with no bridge. So we looked at senses as filter and the brain as a bottleneck. Now let us connect this something fundamental: uniqueness. Every human being is an unrepeatable experiment of perception. Think about it. Your senses have their own micro differences. The exact curve of your retina, the exact number of reception in your skin, the way your inner ear responds to vibration. Your brain has its own pathways shaped by childhood, by accident, by traumas, by learning. Your emotional body holds a specter of excitation that no one else has lived. Put this together, and the result is clear. The way you feel the world can never be duplicated. Not by your partner, not by your parents, not by your children, not even someone who knows you best. That is why no one can ever fully understand what you feel. They can approximate, that can resonate, that can love you, but they cannot enter exact configuration of your emotional body. This is not tragedy, it is value. The uniqueness of perception is the ultimate dignity of a person. It means that each human is not replaceable. Each human carries a fragment of reality that no one else can. Each human is living window into field that will never exist again. From this follow the deepest ethical law: tolerance is not an option, it's necessity. Because to reject another person's perception is to reject a piece of reality itself. We need to teach tolerance the same way we teach reading. We need to show children that when two people disagree, it is not because one's stupid. It is because they stand in different perceptual worlds. And we need to remind ourselves daily. If no one can ever repeat that I feel, then my life has infinite worth. Not because of achievements, not because of beauty, not because of power, but because my perception is singular. That is the lesson. You are unique, not because you try to be different, but because your emotional body ensures you already are. And if we learn to honor this uniqueness in ourselves and in others, we create society where tolerance is natural, not forced. So let us begin here with a simple recognition. I cannot feel your word. You cannot feel mine. But we can respect the distance and still build bridges. That is the path forward. And this is where I want to pause. Because everything I said about the limits of perception is not theory for me only. It's the ground from which this whole project grows. In the next videos, I will speak about practical ways to develop the emotional body, how to step out of automatic reaction, how to work with the field consciously, how to stop being only a machine of past experience. I will also talk about the mistakes of modern education, which trains memory but not sensitivity, competition but not perception. And I will try to suggest new ways of personal development that start not from fear but from presence. This project itself is a challenge for me. Until now, I was afraid to record videos, to put myself into open space of the internet. I didn't accept myself enough to appear here. Speaking in English makes it even harder. It is not my native language, so every word feels like stepping into the unknown. But that is exactly why I do it, because the emotional body, mine and yours, changes only in the unknown. For 40 years, my emotional body, like most, worked on autopilot, repeating patterns, copying habits, living from memory more than from feeling. Now, I want to see you what happens when I break that loop. Every day I record one video, every day I face the camera, every day I listen to how my own emotional body shifts. This is not just contact, this is my training ground, my way to becoming presence. And maybe if you follow with me, it can also become yours. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.